Welcome back, everybody. It's me, Ian Fritts. As you can tell behind me, we are doing a mock draft of the first round of the NFL draft. It's draft week. It's here. Starts on Thursday, and I'm ready to draft some players. Look, I'm doing this on PFF's website. You can do it if you want. Uh, the only thing I can't do is trade. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to trade down. Not gonna be able to trade up. So I'm just drafting in the order that we have it. I can't do trades because I don't have PFF Plus or whatever it's called, and I'm not paying for it. So can't do trades, but we are going to do some drafts. Okay, Tennessee Titans up first. Historically, they've said, "Hey, we're going to draft a historic talent, okay, generational talent, whatever they said." And everybody's like, "Oh, Travis Hunter, we know he's going 1-1 overall," and we know, ladies and gentlemen, he's not going 1-1 overall because the Tennessee Titans are going to draft Cam Ward wherever he is on here. Why can't I draft Cam Ward? Where's my guy Cam Ward? There he is. I'm not sure why he's ranked 20, ADP 2.3. He should be ADP 1.1, 1.0, I should say. Yeah, we're bringing Cam Ward to the Tennessee Titans. Look, they need a quarterback, and they need a quarterback bad. If you hit on a quarterback, it changes the trajectory of your team. Okay, if you hit on Travis Hunter, which whoever gets him is going to hit on him because he's that good. If you hit on Travis Hunter, it's not going to change the Tennessee Titans organization. It's not going to change him. Okay, he's that good of a player, but he's not a quarterback. A quarterback impacts the play, impacts the game much more than a wide receiver cornerback combo will. Okay, so Titans are going Cam Ward. Everybody knows that. We're going to draft him right there. Drafted. Cleveland Browns on the clock now. This is where it gets good because we're going to take Travis Hunter right here, second overall pick. We're going Travis Hunter. Just had his jersey retired. Some people are upset about Travis Hunter getting his jersey retired. I'm not one of those people. Now, Shedeur Sanders, we can get there. Also, I'm not sure they should have retired it 3 weeks after the season ended. Okay, this should be like a 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Travis Hunter gets his jersey retired situation. Okay, he should have his retired. He won the Heisman. Let him retire their jersey, okay? Shedeur Sanders, he might as well retire Joel Klatt, his might be retired. I have no idea. New York Giants. This gets a little tricky, folks. Okay, you got to what I think might be the best player in the entire draft, and Abdul Carter. I think he's that good. I think you're gonna have to take him if you're the New York Giants. Now, they need a quarterback. Who's the next best quarterback? Is it Shedeur Sanders? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I love that pick if I were the Giants. So you got to go. You got to go Abdul Carter for the Giants, and I think Giants fans will love that pick. Now here's where it gets interesting. Patriots. The Patriots would have loved to have Travis Hunter in this situation. If they got Travis Hunter to fall to 4, not going to happen. But I think they would want him to fall to 4. They would want him to fall to 4. He's not going to. So I think they're going to go Tet McMillan here, but I wouldn't surprise me if they go Will Campbell as well, folks. Would not surprise me if they go Will Campbell as well. They could also go. Jahdae Barron. Look, Jahdae Barron's got an ADP 14 right now, but I think he's that good. I think he's that good, folks. Okay, I'm not sure why people thinking Ashton Jeanty is the guy for the Patriots. Okay, he's good. He's really, really good. Not saying he's not. He also looks really, really good. Uh, but I think they're going to go Tet McMillan. I think he's the best wide receiver in the draft. He doesn't play both sides of the ball like Travis Hunter, so we'll leave it at that. Look, for the Jaguars, I think this one's pretty easy. You go for a need if you're the Jaguars. You go need. What do we need? You go Mason Graham. That's who we need. We need Mason Graham. I think he might be, other than Abdul Carter, I think he might be the second best player in this draft. He's that good. Love what he can do. He's going to tear up down there if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, okay? Now, the Raiders. This is where I think you get Ashton Jeanty, okay? Look, what do the Raiders need? Pretty much everything. That team is a dumpster fire of an organization, a dumpster fire of a team. They need pretty much anything they can get. And I think right here is where you take best available player. Okay. They could also go Will Campbell. You can never not have elite offensive linemen on your team. You can never not take elite offensive linemen. Okay. I would take them anytime you can get him on my team. And you know what? I might be talking myself into Will Campbell here, folks. I might be talking myself into Will Campbell at the Raiders, but I'm not. I'm going to go Ashton Jeanty. We're going to take him there. Looking through these top 6 picks, some people may think this might be the worst looking draft of all time. I think this is actually playing out how it might end up. Jets. Now, the Jets, historically, they stink, okay? And they stink at doing what they need to do, and they stink at pretty much that. But I think they go Will Campbell here. Look, best available player. They need a tackle. He could also be a guard. He might be a guard in the NFL. He's a tackle in college. He might be a guard in the NFL. Just, shorter arms. Panthers, what do they need? Again, the Panthers need literally anything they can get their hands on. This is where you go Malachi Starks or Jahdae Barron. Now, Malachi Starks, ADP 19.7. I don't understand how he's that low, folks. Who's doing these ADPs and he's getting to 19.7? Armand Mimbo. Look, it could also be Armand Mimbu, whatever it is. They don't. You could go him here as well because the Panthers need anything they can get. That's that problem with these top 10 teams is you need a really good player. You need a lot of really good players. That's the issue, folks. That is the issue. Carolina Panthers, let me look through here. Wide receiver, Luther Burden, no, way too high for him here. Colston Loveland, don't hate that. Don't hate Tyler Warren here as well. But I'm going to take... I think I'm... Mike Green, this is where it gets interesting. The Panthers can go a lot of different directions. They can go a lot of different directions here, but I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll with Malachi Starks here. I'm gonna roll with Malachi Starks, and that honestly sets up beautifully for the Saints here because you're gonna get Walter Nolan right there at number 9. We're gonna take Walter Nolan. Chicago Bears, Armand Mimbo, he's right there. Do you take him at 9 tackle? You think you do. However, how many of those sacks last year were on Caleb Williams? I think a lot of them were on Caleb Williams. So are we going to take Armand Mimbo if we're the Chicago Bears? Look, they say there needs a running back, D-line, and safety. Would have been nice to have Malachi Starks right here as the Chicago Bears. I don't think he's getting to number 10. I do not think he's getting to number 10. I think he's that good. Look, we could go a lot of different ways. D-line. Do we want a Mike Green out of Marshall? Do we want to go there, or are we just going to take best player available? For the Chicago Bears, I think they got a lot to work on. I think you're going to have to take Armand Mimbu, however you say it. Apologies to Armand, and I may not even be saying his first name incorrectly. San Francisco 49ers. Now they also need a lot. Okay, they had their couple years of a nice run there in the playoffs, getting to the NFC Championship and all that. They had a long time. But you go Jahdae Barron. Best corner in the draft, best available right there. Now, if Mike Green gets to the Dallas Cowboys here, folks, I'm a Cowboys fan. Misery, yes, hand up. It's a miserable life I live. I'm not sure we'll ever do the correct decision. And honestly, drafting really hasn't been our issue. It's been winning has been the issue. We have some talented young players. We've always had some talented young players, but we stink. Always, year in, year out. We won't ever win a Super Bowl, but I think you go best available player here, and I think that is Mike Green, best available player. I wouldn't hate a cornerback here, and I know you're thinking, cornerback? Yeah, they're always injured. Our cornerbacks are always injured. I wouldn't hate Will Johnson just because I love Will Johnson. He may be picked before Jahdae Barron, even though I like Jahdae Barron a little more. He may be picked before Jahdae Barron. But we're going to go Mike Green for the Dallas Cowboys. He may not even fall that far, folks. It's a real issue as a Cowboys fan. We may pick who's down here at the bottom here. Who's down here at the bottom? We may pick a Tyleek Williams. The Dallas Cowboys may do that just because we're dumb. Which he's not a bad player. He's not a bad player, but we got to get some. We got to get some good talent up there in Dallas. Dolphins. Oh boy, Miami Dolphins. Look, what does Mike McDaniels, the crazy scientist, do? I'm not even sure. You might go best available here as well. And I'm saying best available a lot, but we're going Will Johnson for the Miami Dolphins. We're going Will Johnson. Oh, Indianapolis Colts. You might take a quarterback here if you're the Colts because what's his face is not the answer. What's his face is not the answer. Richardson, Anthony Richardson, that's his name. You move him out to wide receiver, tight end, running back, whatever. Dude is an athlete. Is he a quarterback? Jury's still out. We're going to take Tyler Warren as the Indianapolis Colts. Seems like the Colts always have about 12 different tight ends on their roster. And we're just drafting another one for the Colts because he's a good player. We love him and we need him. Jihad Campbell. I'm going to go in a different direction for the Falcons here. They need a lot of help. They need a lot of help for the Atlanta Falcons. A lot of it defensive help. And you would think, well, wouldn't you want a nice little linebacker there from Alabama? Proven guy, young guy. He can get it done. Coming from a great program. Jihad Campbell might be your guy, Ian. I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go different route. Okay, we're gonna go. No, we are gonna go. We are gonna go Jihad Campbell. What am I talking? You got to go with what the immediate gut tells you. Okay, Bengals. Should we draft Luther Burden the third if we're the Bengals? Okay, the receiving core that offense would be unstoppable. Already is. Okay, you got to remind yourself that if you're a Bengals fan, your offense is already unstoppable. We do not need any more offensive players if we're the Bengals. Okay, we need defense and we need it now. We need defense and we need it now. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the Arizona Cardinals. I'm looking down here. I'm not even the right team right now. Cardinals. What do we want? We are gonna go. We're gonna move down here. We're gonna go Kenneth Grant if we're the Arizona Cardinals. Really good player. Love what he does. Love what he brings to the table. Let me look. Jalen Walker. I missed him. I should have went through this before. No big deal. Let me look through here. Look at all our options. That's what you got to do as a GM of a football team. You got to look at all your options, okay? I just don't love a lot of these options. Shamar Stewart, I love that guy. I love Nick Scorton as well. Trey Amos, good player. But we might go Jalen Walker if we're the Arizona Cardinals. I know it says you don't need a linebacker, but you can never have two good linebackers. But we're gonna go Kenneth Grant. We're gonna go Kenneth Grant if we're the Arizona Cardinals. I really like him. I like what he does. I like what he brings to the table. Here's where we go. Okay, do you take a wide receiver? No, you don't. High-powered offense. We need defense, and we need it now. Donovan Ezeraraku. Okay. Said that wrong, 100% guarantee. Do we want Donovan? Do we want the man from Boston College? We do not. We're going to pass on him. And we're going straight to Jalen Walker, folks. We are going straight to Jalen Walker if he's there. He may not be there. And if he's not there, tough luck for the Bengals because you're going to be in misery for years to come. Seattle Seahawks. We need offense. We need offensive line, and we need it bad, okay? Josh Simmons, Kelvin Banks, who do we want here? Who do we want? Do we have any interior offensive linemen on the board? Do we have any interior offensive linemen on the board? It doesn't look like we do. No, not a single offensive lineman that could play center for us. Kelvin Banks, he's a true tackle. Josh Simmons, he's a true tackle. He could slide inside. Josh Simmons could. So we might go Josh. That's hard to say. Josh Simmons. Say that 12 times fast. You won't be able to. Josh Simmons. You can't do it. So we're going to draft Josh. Golly, that's hard to say. I'm not even joking. Try to say that, folks. We're going Josh Simmons for the Seattle Seahawks. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They need defense. We're going Donovan Ezeraraku, however you say his last name. Denver Broncos. This is where it gets fun. Do you take Luther Burden? Do you take Emeka Egbuka? Do you take a Matthew Golden? Now look, is Matthew Golden the one that said I'm gonna run a 4.2 40 or whatever, and he ran like a 4.9? I think it was him. I don't love Matthew Golden particularly. I would take Emeka Egbuka or Luther Burden above a Matthew Golden. I'm not sure why his ADP is so much lower, but I think the best wide receiver in this draft, not named Tet McMillan or Travis Hunter, is Emeka Egbuka. I'm taking Emeka Egbuka if I am the Denver Broncos right here. Now, let me retract that statement. No, I'm not. I'm taking Emeka Egbuka. We're taking him, and we're okay. Didn't mean to do that. Don't want to pull up all his stuff here. Do we have a run? We have a Marion Hampton available, but I think we go Emeka Egbuka if we are the Denver Broncos. Look, Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's where it could get interesting. I think we're going to take a Shador Sanders here. I think we're going to do it. We're going to take a quarterback, and we're going to take Shador Sanders. Now, do we take a Jackson Dart? That's where I think we're deciding between Shador Sanders and a Jackson Dart. I think this is where a trade would come in handy, because I think if you're the New York Giants, you might trade up here and try and get yourself a Shador Sanders in this situation. But I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm handicapped. I can't make those calls right now because I don't have PFF Pro or PFF Plus or whatever it's called. So we're going to take a Shador Sanders if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that may be the New York Giants. But I think Shador is going to get drafted right in this range, 20 to 25 range. Okay, so give me Shador Sanders there. It may not be to the Steelers, folks. Chargers. This is Luther Burden all day, every day. Yep. Can I go back? Can I redo? You can't redo, and that's the issue. I should have taken Colston Loveland there. Hand up. That's me. Incorrect decision by the GM. But that happens all the time in the NFL. You think, are you sure you meant to draft that guy? Hand up. That's how easy it is. You click sand on the wrong guy. That's how easy it is to make incorrect decisions. But you can't. Luther Burden's a great player. I'm not upset that we got him, but I think Colston Loveland would have been a better pick there. The Packers, look, why does it say they need a wide receiver? They've got about 35 young wide receivers. Are any of them good? They're all okay. But I think James Pierce Jr. is the play here if you're the Green Bay Packers. So we're going to go James Pierce Jr. right there, folks. Okay. On the clock, Minnesota Vikings, Omarion Hampton. It's easy. Elite runner, Omarion Hampton. Elite runner he is. Texans, what do we want? We want Kelvin Banks Jr. We got to protect C.J. Stroud. You know who didn't protect C.J. Stroud last year? The entire offensive line. We're also going to keep Kelvin Banks close to Austin, Texas. He's got fans there. He's homegrown there. We're taking Kelvin Banks, okay? The Rams. What do the Rams do? If they get Colston Loveland here at 26, the Rams are going to be hooting and hollering, folks. Hooting and hollering. The Ravens, look, we're going to go interior offensive line here, and we're not going to, do we go Tyler Booker? No, that's the problem with his interior offensive lineman, okay? Not a lot of good, awesome selections, and a lot of teams need some interior O-line, need to beef up that center guard position, but I'm going out here. I'm going Gray Zabel. Never heard of this guy, but he's from North Dakota State, so he's probably a little undersized. Let's look at his measurables here. Can we do that? Let's see here. I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. First look. 6'6", 305. 23. He's a good player. We're going to draft him. Look, I don't know Gray Zabel, okay? But just based on his name, I'm going to assume this is a white man, okay? And because he's a white man, I don't know what it is about the Ravens, but I feel like they always have some nice white offensive linemen that know how to get it done. So we're going to go Gray Zabel. We're going with Gray Zabel, okay? And we're going to take him, slide him into the guard position. He could also play tackle. We're going Gray Zabel there. Know nothing about the guy. Okay, why are the Lions trying to take a wide receiver here? Look, I'm not high on Matthew Golden at all, okay? What other wide receivers do we got here? Alec Ayominor, the dude that put up about 3,000 yards on Travis Hunter a couple years ago. We're going to pass on him. We're going to pass on him, and we're going to pass on Matthew Golden as well. I don't like Jalen Noel here. He's way too low. Just throwing that out there. He is way too low. He's going to be a steal for whoever gets him. But we're going to go back to all. How do I get back to all? I guess I can't once I switch once. Well, that's unfortunate. Nope, there we go. Back to all. Look, the Lions, I'm not sure you want to mess with the offense if you're the Lions. Now, defense, we can get some depth. We can get some health in there. We're gonna go either one from Texas A&M. Nick Scorton, Shamar Stewart. I think Shamar Stewart has a little more pop, has a little more go, has a little more edge to him, and I think that's what you want if you're the Lions. So we're going Shamar Stewart. You pair him up with Aiden Hutchinson, baby, watch out if you're anybody that's playing the Lions, and you should already be on the lookout because they're that good. Okay, Washington Redskins. Who do we want if we're the Redskins? I think you need to protect Jalen Daniels, okay? And I know he can run around back there, but you get him back in that pocket and protect him. Protect Jalen Daniels, interior offensive line. That's what we need. And we're going to take Tyler Booker. We are going to take Tyler Booker from Alabama. Good program, solid starter for 4 years. We know what he's bringing to the table. We like Tyler Booker. The Bills. Look, at this point, you just need to draft anybody that can. Look, I'm not going to say injure anybody on the Chiefs. I'm not going to go that far. But is that the only way that they can make the Super Bowl? I think it might possibly be. So we're going to go Nick Scorton on the edge, and we're going to just, hey, when we play the Chiefs, get after them. Get after them, not to injure them. We're just going to rough them up a little bit. You can always take a wide receiver. You're the Kansas City Chiefs. Might as well take Matthew Golden. And some of you are thinking, there's no way Matthew Golden is going to be picked this far in the draft. Look, I don't see the hype around him, folks. Look, you're going to call me a Matthew Golden hater? Hand up. Am I? Yes, I'm an OU fan. That's why I haven't drafted him yet. But the Kansas City Chiefs, just offensive line, beef it up. Josh Connerly Jr., we'll take him here if we're the Kansas City Chiefs. And that leaves Matthew Golden falling to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think they might take him. Can we search based on teams? Who does Georgia have left? Does Georgia have any guys up here at the top? If we have a Georgia defensive lineman up here at the top, we're going to take them before the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? We're going to take them before the Philadelphia Eagles if we can get a Georgian edge linebacker somewhere around here. Right there, Mykel Williams. Boom, drafted to the Eagles. He's not going to make it that far, folks, but it's happened before. We've said that before with the exact same people that make it to the Eagles, getting all these ads. Okay, let's run through this draft real quick. This is my first one. First one I've done. I may do some things a little differently, but I don't hate it actually. And if I'm the Cowboys, I like what I'm getting in Mike Green, edge Marshall. That's my team. Did I purposely screw everybody else? Maybe so, but then I wouldn't have let Mykel Williams fall to the Eagles. There's just too many players to choose from. Could I be a GM? Probably not. Based on this, I probably couldn't do it. There's too many players to choose from. I would take best available every single time. But then you got to think. Do we need best available? We need a player that can get us there, okay? That's what the Titans had to do. Look, let me know what you think about this mock draft in the comments. I'm sure everybody's going to hate it, but I love it. I love some of it. That's all I have for you. Thanks for tuning in. Mock draft. Let me know what you think. Love you guys. Bye.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game.
25, 40, 45, 50.